There's a single terrifying secret hidden in plain sight that connects the very first sentence of the Bible to the chaos erupting in your news feed right now. And almost everyone is missing it. Most people, even those who have sat in church pews for decades, view the Bible as a collection of 66 separate books, a disjointed library of poetry, history, and moral instruction. But what if I told you that is a lie? What if I told you that the scriptures are actually a single encrypted timeline, a singular organism with a DNA code that was written before the foundation of the world, and that this code has just been confirmed by the very events shaking our geopolitical landscape today? We are not looking at a history book. We are looking at a countdown that began in Genesis and is ticking towards zero in Revelation, and the thread that ties it all together is shocking, undeniable, and absolutely terrifying for those who aren't paying attention. Today, we are going to pull that thread. To understand the magnitude of what is happening right now, we have to go back to the beginning, not just to the start of the world, but to the start of the war. Most people think the story of Adam and Eve is a fable about an apple, but that is a dangerous oversimplification that hides the truth. When humanity fell, a cosmic legal transaction took place, a shift in dominion that allowed a usurper to enter our reality. But in that moment of absolute darkness, God spoke a prophecy that has haunted history for 6,000 years. In Genesis 3 verse 15, God turns to the serpent and declares war, promising that the seed of the woman would crush the head of the serpent. This is the first pull of the thread. It is a proto-evangelium, the first announcement of a rescue mission, but also triggered a silent, covert war that has raged in the shadows of human history ever since. The enemy heard that prophecy too, and from that moment on, his entire objective was to cut the thread, to corrupt the bloodline, and to stop the arrival of the one who would crush him. This is the key that unlocks the Old Testament. Suddenly, the chaotic violence and the genealogies aren't just boring lists of names. They are a battlefield report. When you see Cain kill Abel, it isn't just a murder. It is a calculated strike by the enemy to destroy the righteous seed. When you see the world of Noah descend into such depravity that the thoughts of men were only evil continually, it wasn't his bad behavior. It was a genetic and spiritual corruption so deep that the thread was almost snapped. The flood was not an act of cruelty. It was an emergency preservation of the line that would eventually lead to your salvation. This is a secret that connects the ancient waters of the flood to the fire that is prophesied to come. The Bible tells us that, as it was in the days of Noah, so it will be at the coming of the Son of Man. Look around you. Look at the obsession with altering human DNA, the blurring of boundaries, the violence filling the earth. We are seeing the exact same conditions re-emerging, confirming that the cycle is closing. As we follow the scarlet thread through the centuries, the pattern becomes impossible to ignore. It appears on Mount Moriah, where Abraham is told to sacrifice his only son, Isaac. Picture the scene: a father, a son, and a mountain. Isaac carries the wood on his back, just as Christ would carry the cross. He is laid down willingly. But at the last second, the angel of the Lord stops the knife. Why? Because God was providing a picture, a holographic projection of the future. God said, Jehovah Jireh, the Lord will provide. And he provided a ram caught in the thicket by its horns. This wasn't an accident. This was a geographical prophecy. Scholars have confirmed that this mountain, Moriah, is the same ridge system where, 2,000 years later, Jesus of Nazareth will be crucified. The thread doesn't just connect people. It connects geography. The very dust of the earth is crying out with a story that has been written since the beginning of time. Fast forward to Egypt. The Israelites are enslaved, broken, and hopeless. The final plague is coming, the death of the firstborn. This is the judgment of God upon the gods of Egypt. But look closely at the instructions given to Moses. They were told to take a lamb without blemish, and kill it. But they couldn't just kill it. They had to take the blood and paint it on the doorposts of their houses. The shape of that motion, top, bottom, left, right, forms the sign of the cross. But here's the secret that most miss. God told them that when the destroyer passed over, when I see the blood, I will pass over you. It wasn't their behavior that saved them. It wasn't their theology. It wasn't their nationality. It was the blood. The scarlet thread was painted on their doors. This is a shadow, a type pointing directly to the ultimate reality. The entire Old Testament is a desperate, bloody, beautiful rehearsal for the main event. But then, something strange happens. The thread seems to disappear. After the prophets speak, there is silence. 400 years of silence. The intertestamental period. No fresh word. No miracles. It seemed as if the enemy had won, as if the thread had been cut in the darkness. But God works best in the silence. While the world slept, the stage was being set. The Roman Empire built roads that would carry the gospel. The Greek language unified the known world, so the message could spread. And then, in the fullness of time, the thread exploded into reality. The seed of the woman arrived. But he didn't come as a conqueror on a white horse. Not yet. He came as a baby, fragile and hunted. Remember the slaughter of the innocents by Herod? That was a dragon trying to devour the child as soon as he was born, exactly as Revelation 12 depicts. The war from Genesis 3 verse 15 had moved from the shadows into the streets of Bethlehem. This leads us to the climax of history, the moment where the thread becomes a rope that pulls humanity out of the pit, the cross. To the natural eye, it was a tragedy. It was a defeat. But in the spiritual realm, it was a masterstroke. Paul writes in Corinthians that if the princes of this world had known what was happening, they would never have crucified the Lord of glory. They thought they were cutting the thread. In reality, they were weaving the final knot. When Jesus cried out, "It is finished," he wasn't whispering surrender. He was shouting a victory cry. The word in Greek is tetelestai, an accounting term meaning paid in full. The debt of Adam was canceled. The head of the serpent was crushed. The prophecy of Genesis was fulfilled in blood. The veil in the temple, the thick barrier separating man from the holy of God, was torn in two from top to bottom, not from bottom to top, as if man tore it, but from top to bottom, because God was tearing it. The way back to the garden, the way back to the tree of life, was finally open. But this is not where the story ends. And this is where it gets dangerous for us today. Many people stop at the cross, thinking the story is over. But the Bible is clear. There is a second coming. The thread stretches from the cross to the crown. We are living in the pause, the final breath before the trumpet sounds. And when we look at the book of Revelation, we don't see a new story. We see the conclusion of Genesis. In Genesis, the sun and moon are created. In Revelation, we have no need for the sun or moon, for the Lamb is the light. In Genesis, there's a marriage between Adam and Eve. In Revelation, there's the marriage supper of the Lamb. In Genesis, the curse enters. In Revelation, there is no more curse. In Genesis, Satan enters to deceive. In Revelation, he is cast into the lake of fire forever. It is a perfect circle. The end is exactly like the beginning, only glorified. However, right now, we are witnessing the convergence of signs that indicate the circle is about to close. The prophet Daniel was told to seal up the book until the time of the end, when knowledge shall increase and many shall run to and fro. Look at our world. In the last 100 years, we have gone from horse and buggy to artificial intelligence, from candlelight to splitting the atom. We have unlocked the secrets of the atom and the genome, knowledge reserved for creators, and we are using it to play God. This is a Tower of Babel rising again, reaching into the heavens, demanding authority that does not belong to us. The nations are aligning exactly as Ezekiel 38 prophesied. We see the kings of the east rising. We see Israel, the super sign, back in her land, surrounded by enemies, standing as a timepiece of God. Jesus said, "When you see the fig tree bud, you know summer is near." Israel is the fig tree. The generation that sees her reborn will not pass away until all these things are fulfilled. That is this generation. There is a horrifying reality that we must face. The mystery of iniquity is already at work. Just as there's a thread of redemption, there's a thread of rebellion. It began with Cain, went through Nimrod at Babel, manifested in Pharaoh and Nebuchadnezzar, and it will culminate in the Antichrist. The stage is being set for a global deception that will look remarkably like a solution to our problems. They will promise peace. They will promise safety. They will promise a technological utopia. But it is a trap. It is the final attempt of the serpent to enslave the seed of Adam before the king returns. The world is being conditioned to accept a counterfeit Messiah, And the apathy in the church is the most frightening sign of all. We are sleepwalking toward the edge of a cliff, distracted by entertainment, while the storm clouds gather on the horizon. This is why understanding the connection between Genesis and Revelation is a matter of life and death. You cannot understand the news if you don't understand the Old Testament. The conflict over Jerusalem is not a political dispute. It is a spiritual war over the throne of the earth. The site of the temple is the intersection of heaven and earth, the place where the thread was tied, and the place where the Messiah will touch down. Zechariah prophesies that his feet will stand on the Mount of Olives, and it will split in two. This is not poetry. This is future history. The tectonic plates under Jerusalem are literally waiting for the impact of the King of Kings. The physical earth is groaning for his return. So, what does this mean for you? It means you are not an accident. It means your life is caught up in a cosmic drama that is thousands of years in the making. The same God who clothed Adam and Eve in the garden, covering their shame with a sacrifice, is offering to clothe you today. The thread of redemption is dangling right in front of you. But here's the warning. The door to the ark was open for 7 days before the rain started. Just 7 days. And then God shut the door. Not Noah, God. There comes a point of no return. There comes a moment when the thread is pulled up and history ends. We are living in the days of the open door, but the wind is picking up and the sky is turning black. The secret is that Jesus Christ is the volume of the book. He is the ram at Abraham's altar. He is the Passover lamb in Egypt. He is the manna in the wilderness. He is the fourth man in the fire. And he is the rider on the white horse who is coming to judge the living and the dead. The Bible is not a book of rules. It is a love letter written in blood, and it is a warrant for the arrest of the usurper. The verdict is in. The sentence is about to be executed. Everything you see happening in the geopolitical sphere, the rattling of sabers, the economic instability, the moral confusion, these are birth pains. And birth pains do not stop. They increase in frequency and intensity until the baby is born. We are about to witness the birth of a new age, the kingdom of God on earth. But before the dawn, there must be darkness. The time of Jacob's trouble is approaching, a time of testing that the world has never seen. But for those who hold on to the scarlet thread, for those who are covered by the blood, there is nothing to fear. The same thread that saves you is a rope that anchors you in the storm. Don't let anyone tell you that the Old Testament is irrelevant. It is the map. It is the decoder ring. Without it, you are blind to the signs of the times. The seed of the woman has crushed the serpent's head, but the tail is still thrashing, and it is dangerous. We are in the final thrashing moments of history. The question is, whose side are you on? Are you part of the lineage of faith, woven into the scarlet thread? Or are you drifting in the floodwaters of the world's deception? The choice is yours, but time is not on your side. The clock is ticking. The prophecies are fulfilled. The stage is set. The thread is pulled tight. Look up. Your redemption draweth nigh. This is not just a story. This is the end of the beginning, and the beginning of forever. And the most shocking revelation of all is yet to come. Something buried deep in the original Hebrew text that predicts the exact year of, but that is a mystery we will have to unlock in the next video.